Alrighty. Should be live here in just a moment. Once everything looks to be good. Looks good. Alright. Get this open. Slide that down. Slide this over. Pop that around. That open. Damn, that's loud as shit. Alright, got my chat up. Ooh, freezing cold today. Really, the last 2 days has been awful. Hopefully everyone's been staying warm. What's up, Daniel? How's it going? Good luck to your Rams tomorrow. Never know. All kinds of potentiality. We hope so, Space. We hope so. What up, Fernando? Everyone's nervous for tomorrow. Big day. Hopefully we can prove the world wrong. That we're not schedule merchants. Good luck, Daniel. But yeah, there's a 2 big games coming up this weekend. We have what, the AFC, NFC Championship. All of 3 games remaining in the NFL season. This is 2 of them. Week off and then the Super Bowl. I can't believe it. We're really in our 19, what is it, 19? How many conference championship games have we played this decade? 12? Or 14? Yeah, it's 14 of them. This will be number 14. Isn't that crazy? That since the year 2000, we played in 14 conference championship games out of the 26 possible. Seems unbelievable. Truly. What a run. Yeah, went in 3 straight years, won 2 of them. Loss, win, or win, loss, win. Or, yeah, win, loss, win. Right. Well, we played, we made, what was it, from Falcons, Eagles, and Rams. Those were 3 Super Bowls in a row, right? I don't think there was a game between any one of those. No, it was those 3 in a row. Between the Seahawks and the Falcons, though, there was the Broncos. You want to know a fun fact? You know the Broncos are 6-1 all time, I think, in AFC Championship games at home. Do you know their only loss was to the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2005? You want to know a little more fun fact about that Steelers team? That Steelers team was led by a second-year quarterback named Big Ben Roethlisberger. That team would go on to then play a very surprising number 1 seed in the Super Bowl, because they would end up winning that game against Denver, obviously. The only team to do it. And then the Steelers would play some team who was a shock 1 seed. No one before the season started would have been like, oh, that's the number 1 seed. That team was led by a bald guy, another bald guy. There were 2 bald guys leading that Seahawks team. Matt Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander. So when you think about all that, it's very eerie that 21 years later, we're in a very oddly similar situation with a Broncos team, a top-seeded Broncos team, taking on a very good 2 seed with a young second-year quarterback, with a shock Seahawks 1 seed as favorites to win the NFC. I can't believe it either. Time truly is a flat circle, as they say. I just hope we can actually beat the Broncos. We're 0-4 all time in Denver. 2 of those belonging to Brady, believe it or not. However, in defense of ourselves, one of those games was Peyton Manning. And that's that's always a toss-up against Peyton. Fuck that guy. And then that game against Brock Osweiler is a little bit different than this one because Osweiler had played a lot of that season. So, and also our defense was nowhere near as good as it is now. We wouldn't lose on a handoff in overtime. And now, that wouldn't happen. We would win the game. Like, we ain't giving up no big ass run like that. We don't give up rush yards anymore. So defensively, it's a whole different story. Plus, I don't know, that Broncos team was a team of destiny. We need the Patriots to become the great team. It's all written. I will say it is very funny that the NFL worked exactly the way I said it was going to do, and that it's going to go directly from the Chiefs right back to the Patriots because that's how football works. And it seems to me that if we win this game Sunday, tomorrow afternoon, and it's all right, it went right back to the way we thought it would be. Hell yeah, right back to us dominating the AFC again. And what's even funnier is do you know what the last time I heard someone talk about an easy schedule? You know how long it had been since I heard someone talk about schedule merchants or you only won because of all those easy games you get to play? It was 2018-19 with the Patriots. The year we won the Super Bowl, believe it or not, when we beat the Rams. Everybody said we couldn't beat any good teams. We can't beat anyone good. We're a lucky team. Brady needs to retire. He's too old. All the fun narratives leading up to that playoff run. Very similar to what they are now. It's they haven't beaten anybody. Once they play some real teams, they'll lose. In fact, what's funny is I only heard arguments like that from 2005, 2006 to 2019. And then for 6 or 7 years in the NFL, no one has talked about strength of schedule until this season. Tell me, what's up, Kevin? When have you guys last heard of strength of schedule? Did you hear about it when the Lions had a 3rd place schedule one year and then they went 15-2 the next year? Did anyone call the Lions schedule merchants? Or what was it, 13-4? No? That's weird. All right. I don't know. It's been 5, 6, 7 years. We went without hearing anything about schedules. I never once heard anything about the Lions being schedule merchants or any team. The Bills are constantly having easy schedules. Hell, the Bills played the 3rd easiest schedule in the NFL this year. The only actual difference between the Patriots and the Bills' schedule was 3 teams. And really, if you count the fact that the Patriots had to play the Bills twice, it's 1 team different. And the winning percentage, or we look at the Broncos. Did anyone talk about the Broncos schedule that had a 412 winning percentage? Want to know what ours is? That's so bad? 398 or something like that, 389. Do you know the only 2 teams that have had winning percentages as bad as us? I'm just going to show you how relevant this information is. The only 2 teams that have had easy schedules like us, ever below 400, was the 99 Rams, greatest show on turf. No one ever criticizes the 99 Rams, by the way. Have you ever once heard the greatest show on turf isn't actually that great because they played a bunch of easy teams? No one ever did that in the history of professional football. Did anyone ever criticize the greatest show on turf for playing dog shit football teams? No one ever criticizes the 1972 Dolphins for playing a 370 schedule that year. No one has ever done that in the history of professional football. I have it's only the New England Patriots that get talked about for their schedule. I promise. Name another team and I'll shut up. By the way, name another team that has a narrative flipped on them so fast as the Patriots. We were supposed to lose to the Chargers. We didn't have the defense to stop them. Herbert was going to rip us to pieces. They were going to run all over us. What else were they? So, yeah, Drake May wasn't going to be able to handle the Chargers' defense. We didn't have a good enough line to stop their pass rush. We had no shot at winning that game. Well, then we won. Then the narrative changed to, well, of course the Patriots won that game. The Chargers didn't have an offensive line, and Justin Herbert sucks at quarterback. All right. Didn't know what about their top 5 defense? Irrelevant. All right, whatever, cool. We got lucky. We'll advance to the next game. Number 1 defense in the NFL. Guess what they were saying? Oh, the Patriots have no shot. Sure, the Texans' offense may struggle a little bit. Oh, well, they'll still beat them. The Patriots' offense, they won't be able to score any points. They're probably going to not score any. I'd imagine they get shut out by the Texans. If Drake May plays the way he did against the Chargers, against the Texans, they'll get blown out by like 40. This is a beatdown coming. The Patriots are about to get shot with a gun. Like, they're about to get hung up. They're about to get Mike Penced. They're done for, dog. But craziest fucking thing happened. The Patriots slaughtered that Texans defense except for 2 turnovers. I don't count the interception because that was just a Hail Mary fuck it at the end of the half. I don't care about that. 2 fumbles. And everyone's acting like Drake May played the worst game ever seen. How many quarterbacks in the last, I don't know, 15 games, how many quarterbacks have thrown for 3 touchdowns against the Texans? What is it, 2? How about the last 25 games? It's the same answer. It's 2. But for some reason, we just ignore that, right? No, it doesn't matter. Made through for 3 touchdowns, and in the second half was damn near perfect against the Texans. Had like a 153-8. Not perfect because he was like 11 for 14 for like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half or whatever. But hey, we don't need to do that. We don't need to bring that up. The near perfect second half, except for 1 fumble. But the real crazy thing is how bad Stroud played against nobody. The Patriots didn't even have a guy on the field, by the way, is how people are reacting. Okay, so remember, before it was the Patriots won't be able to score, and it doesn't really, the Stroud and them will eventually figure it out. The Patriots don't play that good at defense. Now, the narrative, now it's, well, of course they won. Stroud gave them the game. I've heard people say our defense hasn't even played that good. We've been lucky to run into bad Justin Herbert and bad CJ Stroud. Like, those guys are backup quarterbacks or something. We've played 3 backups is the way people are acting. Like, Jarrett Stidham will be the 3rd backup we've played in this playoff run. Not 2 top 10 quarterbacks throughout the regular, you know what I mean, for the last 3 years of football. Not 3 consensus top 10, not 2 consensus, whatever. Fucking bullshit. But we didn't play any defense against the Texans. We weren't on the field. We actually only ran 2 guys on the field, and somehow we ran away with 4 interceptions on CJ Stroud. Wild. But it wasn't our defense that did anything. They did absolutely nothing to do that. That was just all CJ Stroud playing bad. In fact, if you play that game 9 out of 10, Texans beat the Patriots 9 out of 10 times. We got a fluke win. Now, what about Drake May's fumbling? Not like, would Drake May fumble the ball? Oh, yeah, he'd still have the same game. If we played it again, he'd play the exact same way. So he'd still slice up your defense for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. No, that wouldn't happen. He'd have all the turnovers, though. Oh. Okay. All right, so all of our good play has been a fluke. And now the narratives we're going to win because of the backup quarterback. We're not getting any. We have gotten no credit at all for our playoff run. Not a shred. Isn't that crazy? Have you ever seen a team more criticized for winning playoff games than New England Patriots? Go ahead and name a team that has been more discredited for playoff wins in your entire life. Can you think of one? We only beat they won't just say we played good and beat teams and eliminated them. They have to be like, well, they only won because of XYZ. And any other situation they would have lost. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what about we just won the game? There wasn't even controversial calls in them 3 games. In those 2 games. We just won them. It's just like, dogs, what are we doing here? If anything, we're getting hosed in those games too. They can't even do the official thing because if you watch the games, it's like, oh no, the Patriots are getting fucked by the officials too. This is hilarious. How are they winning? It's like teams can't move the ball and score on us. That's a very big problem in football. You can say what you will about our offense. Sure, we're not playing the sharpest offense. We're doing enough to win the game though. And guess what? That's how you win in the playoffs. You don't need to go 20 for 20 for 400 yards and 17 touchdowns to win a playoff game. You know what you got to do? You got to take advantage of when the plays open up like we did against Houston all 3 times that they did. There was only like 4 drives we could have scored on Houston, by the way. In that whole, if you watch that game back, there is no shot to score except like 3 or maybe 4 times, and all 3 of the drives the Patriots scored on. Because the Texans do this weird thing where they start overplaying and like you can kind of just shoot it down the middle of the field against them. Same problem the fucking Broncos have, but they're even easier to score on because like they don't blitz. Because they're a little bit better with running quarterbacks, but not really. They don't have a good timing for it, and I'm not really sure why. Drake May's probably going to run a lot in this game. Josh Allen was tearing these dudes up. And the second they stopped, they were just leaving tight ends wide the fuck open. So, again, Denver has like a beatable. There is ways to beat this Denver defense. No defense is perfect. The only defense that doesn't look like it has any fucking flaws is the Patriots somehow. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you look at all these games, it's like Seattle and New England are playing such good defenses right now. It's actually kind of scary how good they look. Like, dog, the Patriots are dominating teams. Like, if you actually break it down, because some of the points scored have been weird. I think the Patriots are giving up like 12 points a game, or they've given up like 18 actual offensive points. So it's like 9 points per game on offense they've given up. That's wild, dude. You can win. You can turn the ball over 4 times. And if your defense doesn't give up more than 10 points, guess what? You're probably going to win the game, even with the turnovers. Oh, hell no. No, if we make it to the Super Bowl, I don't care if we get blown out, Fernando. It is what it is. If we make it to the Super Bowl, oh well. If we lose, I'll be pretty sad because it's a Super Bowl loss. I'll be crushed for about a week. But after that week of mourning, I'm probably not doing anything on the internet because I'll be in a bad mood. I'll be good. Like, I won't look back on this season as a fail. Like, losing in 2012 to the Giants is the most embarrassing Super Bowl loss in my life. So is the undefeated one. I don't care we lost to the Eagles that year. Oh, well. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, oh, well, if we could have won, we would have won 3 in a row. You know what I mean? Like, losing to the Eagles sucked, but it's like, that was a game I could see us losing. Even with the Nick, I didn't care about the Nick Foles backup. I'm like, dude, he played great all regular season. He's, you know what I mean? Whatever. He didn't play bad. Whatever. It's a little embarrassing, whatever. But like losing this undefeated Super Bowl, inexcusable. Then losing the rematch that every Patriots fan said we would win if it happened again, and then we lost that shit. Dog, we literally. I still don't feel right talking shit to the Giants fans. I'm like, what am I supposed to say? They own our bitch ass. They put us in a headlock, gave us noogies, and then a few years later they picked us up, put us back in a headlock, shoved our heads in toilets, gave us a noogie while giving us a swirly, and then gave us an atomic wedgie and took our fucking lunch money, dude. We can never really talk shit to Giants fans because they're like, well, what happened in 07? It's like, nothing. And they make an Eli Manning face at you because that's how they all look for some reason. And then it's just like, well, they're going to bring up the other. Just get it out of the way. Yeah, Eli Manning beat you. It's like you held us to 10 points. Eli Manning had nothing to do with them wins. Michael Strahan did. Michael Strahan won 2 Super Bowls, and I'm real, whatever. That's such an irrelevant conversation to what's not going on right now. Nick Foles was a good backup, legendary backup quarterback. I think it was like 14 actually. We scored. They held us to like 14 and 19. It wasn't even that many, dude. It was brutal, dude. We didn't even score like above like 2 touchdowns. No, I'm telling you, they were dominating. Oh, yeah, they won like 17, 14 and like I think 19 to like 16 or something like that, or like 21-19 or something. We were within striking distance in both games, but we just couldn't get past the pass rush of I think it was Michael Strahan in the first one, and then the second one it was OC and Michael. That's right, 21-17. That's right, not 19. But I don't know. This should be a good game. I'm very interested to see if the Broncos are able to move the football. They didn't get J.K. Dobbins back, which is really big for the Patriots. They did get Pat Bryant back, but I've heard. What's up, Dustin? Dude was a Pro Bowler before he went on the run with the Eagles. Yeah, he was all right, but like most of his career was just kind of like start and stop, inconsistency. He'd play really good, then he'd be a backup, or like then he'd play bad, go back to being a backup. You know what I mean? Just like, and before the Eagles came and got him, he was pretty much retired, or he was pretty close to retiring. Remember the story? Like, yeah, I'm ready to build my church. Then he's like, God told him to come back or whatever. I don't know. Foles, I don't know. Like I said, he's like a legendary backup quarterback, is what I think of Nick Foles. He's could he be the greatest backup in NFL history? There are some legendary ones, but I don't know. It's really hard to top what he did. I think if Stidham wins this game against the Patriots, as much as I would hate it, that puts him up in the legendary backup list. No, I want to show everybody something about Jarrett Stidham that has me a little worried. So this is how he usually looks, right? He's a pretty happy-go-looking, pretty easy to look at guy. You know, this is him, right? This is after he played in a game. Look at his eyes. Look how lively he looks. Look how chilled out. Pretty calm guy, right? Oh, Brian Hoyer is a Patriots legend for life. All right. That's not too bad, right? Here's Jarrett Stidham today. Now, the person who posted this describes this as Jarrett Stidham looking very locked in. That's the same guy we just looked at. Does that guy look locked in, or does that guy look scared beyond his belief, out of his mind? He doesn't look like he's... Hold on a minute. Let me zoom in a little bit on these eyes for you. Dog, and Denver fans are trying to say he looks confident. Like, guys, this isn't confidence, dog. He was smiling 2 days ago. Hold on. Jarrett Stidham press conference. Right here. Here he is. Hold on. Let me show you something. Just so you don't think I'm like selectively being like a loser about this. Is there like a slightly better hat out of his eyes kind of thing that happens at some point? This is like Monday, by the way. Damn it, it's all shadowed up because of the hat. But you can see like his face is very clear under here. Oh no, he should be very nervous, but dog, them trying to gas this up as him being locked in. Otherwise, if he's locked in, I don't know, man. That don't even look like Jarrett Stidham. I'm not trying again. I hope he plays well. Not really. I hope he plays like shit and we win the game. I hope we dominate him. That doesn't look like a very confident human being to me. I don't know. Like, I'm happy people are riding with Stidham, but like, if I was trying to gas this guy up as confident, I'd be like, he hasn't slept because he's been studying his playbook. Yeah, that cracked out look in his eyes, that's determination, not lack of sleep. Those bags, those are focus cushions. The fact he's grown a beard and everything too is very funny. Like he has a thick ass gray beard. Again, I get why he'd be nervous and stressed out, but it's like, oh boy. I'm sure Drake May looks equally as stressed out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Drake looks like he's about to shit his pants. Yeah, those are focus cushions under the eyes. Let's see. All right, we got one of Drake today on the way onto the plane. So you gotta remember he's traveling right now, so Drake isn't exactly locked in. But he looks pretty normal to me. Eyes are pretty open. Looks like he's been sleeping. You gotta remember he's 23, so like, you know, he's got pimples and stuff like that. I don't know, Drake just looks like normal old Drake May. See, Drake looks locked in. That's what locked in looks like. His eyes are like big and like. To be fair though, he should probably be a little nervous too. This is probably shitting bricks territory. Again, this should be fun. I just think the Patriots got a lot more going for them. Will Denver's defense be a nightmare? Oh yeah, we probably won't score that much. I'm thinking it's going to be just like the Texans game. They'll probably force a turnover or two on us. Probably can't avoid that. Let's see, what else are we going to have that's going to go wrong? Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Broncos lead into halftime. I think the Broncos are going to come out with a wild amount of energy into this football game. Now, I will say the Patriots have actually been running into games like fucking maniacs the last month, plus like 2 months. We've been absolutely cracked out since the Giants game. I'm talking from quarter to quarter, but I'm wondering if there's not going to be a finesse of this situation. It probably will be a little boring because it'll probably be a very defensive football game that doesn't break out till late. I see it as Denver holding a small lead through a good chunk of like the early part of the game and the Patriots kind of getting out and blowing it out after halftime. We've been making insane adjustments in every game so far. The defensive adjustments have been near perfect for the second half in every game. And then the offensive adjustments have been enough to where we can score points a little bit. Mostly with us running the shit out of the ball in the second halves of games. So expect kind of, the Patriots throwing around the yard in the first half, do some throws in the second half, but kind of try to keep it on the ground, especially if there's any kind of lead. Yeah, don't expect a fucking fun game. The Rams Seahawks are going to be the fun game. Yeah, exactly, Seth. That's the fun game. The Patriots Broncos is going to be old school, really, really run heavy football. But the problem is, for the Broncos in this game, if the Patriots run defense so when Milton Williams plays, the Patriots in the 14 games that Milton Williams played, how many? Fernando, I think it'll be something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if it's just a slow rise of Denver leading early, and then the Patriots methodically taking the game over on 2 touchdowns. Probably 2 running touchdowns by Stevenson or 1 by Henderson for like 58 yards. I almost feel Henderson's going to have a huge run in this game. Like 58-yarder, just take the fuck off. Wow, like he's prone to do. Hasn't in a minute. I think he's tired. One of the 2 running backs pops off and pretty much wins the game for the Patriots, I think. And then everyone still criticizes Drake May because he throws 0 touchdown passes. But we run for like 3. Yep, it'll be running. Yep. But like with the so for Milton Williams and the Patriots with the run defense, with Spillane and Williams playing, how many touchdowns running do you think we gave up this year in 14 games? So it's most of the season, right? The Patriots run defense with Milton. It was most of the year. He missed like 3 games. Seahawks Patriots in the Super Bowl. You can write it in stone. I hope so. Rematch of 49. Been 11 years. That's crazy. Crazy that 11 years ago we were in the Super Bowl. we've been the worst team in football for like 3 out of those 11 years. And we're back. And then we won 2 more Super Bowls and played in a third since then as well. Do you know how wild our last 11 years have been as Patriots fans? Just put this into perspective. 11 years ago, we played the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Think about this. We then did the Falcons Super Bowl, the Rams Super Bowl. We played in another one. We were so bad. We got like a top pick. We were so bad. We got a top pick. We were so bad. We got a top pick 3 times. We picked it like a top 5 basically. We won 8 games in 2 years. Like, we made 1 playoff year, and now we're back as the top team in football. 11 years. Isn't that fucking crazy to think about? Any team would trade histories with the Patriots. They'd take they'd take all of our bad times the last 2 years, immediately be like, yeah, we'll take that for right now. Come on, trade. If we play Seattle, I'm just praying Darnold does that thing where he shits his pants especially against us. I think Stroud will be all right. I think what happened with CJ Stroud is the phenomenon of not having a running game in the playoffs and having to play against probably the number 1 secondary or number 2 or 3 secondary in pro football. Like Seattle maybe number 1, and then it's probably the Patriots. If we're being completely honest, like those are the 2 best secondaries, right? I mean, I guess you could say the Texans are the second, the Patriots are the third. If you know what I mean. The Patriots don't get beat like what the Texans just did, but whatever. I think the only bad game they had was against Josh Allen. Whatever. So again, back to the rush defense. You know the Patriots gave up 3 rushing touchdowns when Milton Williams and Spillane were on the field for 14 games this year. I don't even think we gave up like 500 rush yards in that time either. It was like 400 rush yards. Do you know how insane that is through 14 games to give up 3 rushing touchdowns? It's not even just him on the field. The games that he played in, we've given up 3 rushing touchdowns. That is a batshit fucking wild number that nobody talks about. I feel like that's a really important number for a run defense in this deep of a playoff run going against the team. Yeah, they run block really well, but it's like, what happens when the blocking's gone, dog? Like, we don't give up runs. I'm thinking we can shut down their run, kind of key on it early, pretty much say, hey, beat us with the run, take that away, now beat us with the, like, you know what I mean? Take away the run first, then take away the pat. Like, make him beat us with his arm, which he can't do with our secondary. I personally don't think. I don't think they got the receiver depth. Like, they don't have the depth to where, like, do we need, like Cortland Sutton's a good wide receiver, but, like, can we just keep Carlton Davis or Christian Gonzalez on him? Yeah. They don't have another guy where we need to keep an eye on him like that, to where we can't just like, hey, you got Gonzo shut here down, Davis shut here down. One of you always be on Sutton, but, like, you know, otherwise, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, the Patriots should win this game, but we'll see. Denver's got a good defense. You never know. Now, I will say their defense is kind of slowed down toward the end of the year. I will say, like, I won't say that their pass rush isn't as good as the Texans, but if the Texans rushed 7 guys, or rushed 5 or 6 guys, do you think that they would have got to? Do you think they got to, like, a guy like Drake May? Do you think, like, if they're gonna get home on that blitz, right? They do. They always, dude. If they rush, they're dropping like 3 guys in blitz, getting home on like every play, right? Against almost everyone all year. Here's a fun fact about the Broncos pass rush. Apparently, this is 3 different plays. This isn't even the same play, apparently. Because look at this. Allen's at the 25 here. He's at like the. Oh, this might be the same play. Okay, it is the same play. They rushed 5 or 6 guys and didn't get a single whiff off this fucking Bills line. Look at this. Yeah, they're the same as the Texans, though, right? Didn't they just give up 30 to the fucking Bills? A week of mourning. Hello, are you going to wear all black all week? No, I've been wearing all Patriots gear all week, and I'll be doing that again next week for the next 2 weeks. It's serious hours, man. We got to be supporting the team. It's very important what we do for this team. Oh, I just really hope we win so we don't have to deal with fucking. Because at some point, I think we just got to go to the Super Bowl and everybody will give us our flowers. They'll be like, all right, well, now we have to respect the Patriots. All right, I spent a long time talking about this game. I'm gonna stick with the Patriots. Rams and Seahawks. Fun division game, 1-1. This is kind of an interesting game in that you have the two teams, like, it feels like they traded destinies that get the last time they played, right? Because the Rams were comfortably winning that game by like it was like a blowout win. The Seahawks felt like they were kind of fading away for some, like that game was like an exposed game. It's like, oh, look how bad Darnold is against like the Rams. Look how easy it is to kind of actually get over on this defense. There's a way to do it. There's a way to do this. You know what I mean? And then the Seahawks out of nowhere just stopped. Like I don't even remember what. I think it was like a pick or something. It's like you felt like the momentum changed. At this point, the Rams were the runaway 1 seed in the NFC, and were like the favorites to be what the Seahawks were. So there was that flip in that game where after the Rams blew that lead and got beat in like an embarrassing style by Sam Darnold, the Seahawks never lost again that year, I believe. And the Rams lost to like the Cardinals or something, or almost did. Like they were like losing embarrassingly or close to almost, like they couldn't win convincingly ever again the rest of the season. They've stumbled through 2 playoff games and games they should have sort of won. The Seahawks blew out the fucking 49ers. Like it's like this weird thing where it's like, what happened? Did they switch? And like because of the way that they've looked, it's really hard to go with the Rams right now. It's like, boy, I don't trust that at all. What happened? And the way Seattle just played the 49ers, you're like, sheesh. It's really hard to pick a team that just blew another team out. I don't agree, DJ. I have a question for you. This is a hypothetical for you right now. If there wasn't a play on the ball and say Cooks goes to the ground and the ball pops out before he stands up, like as he's going to the ground, right? Is that a completed catch or not? Like he fumbled, like kind of bobs the ground with it. Like if he doesn't fully complete, like, you know what I mean? This is why I don't think it's a bad call. I think it's actually one of the better calls I've seen. It'd be incomplete. How come in that and now, okay, put a guy on him now. He's up against the DB and the DB knocks it to the ground in like as they go to the ground. Same exact thing. The ball falls incomplete rather than being caught or picked. And again, he has it through like the catch all the way down, the exact same kind of roll around, but the ball falls to the ground. Is that a completed catch or an incomplete pass? That's not how a catch rule works, and we just both established that that's not the catch rule doesn't work like that. That would be an incomplete pass if the ball fell out of his hands. Kevin, the Calvin Johnson, that would be a touchdown now. Actually, because the ball never moved. He just used it against the ground. Believe it or not, Calvin Johnson's catch would be a touchdown now. based on the rules. He never lost control. Again, it's the ball gets hit out of his hand, rolled on. You know what I mean? That would be an incomplete pass, man, because the play started in the air. He caught the ball in the air. He's getting brought to the ground. If the ball gets punched out, that would be an incomplete pass, right? Or would you think that's a completed pass in that situation because he was getting tackled in the process of a catch? No, he didn't complete the ball. Like, you know what I mean? It would have been an incomplete pass if that ball had hit the ground. We kind of both know that. How is it then not a pick because the guy grabbed it from him? You know what I mean? Like, it would be an incomplete pass if the ball had hit the ground. They would not have given that a catch credit because they'd have been like, yeah, the ball was in contention the whole time. He wasn't able to complete the process through complete the catch, hold on through the process of the catch. Got to complete it through the ground. And guess what? He didn't. Part of the process is like sliding across the ground and the ball being like in your hands when like the play's over, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? So it's like in that same like vein of if the ball would have hit the ground in that play and it would have been incomplete, him getting the ball stripped from his hands makes it a pick. That's how I view it. You know what I mean? Like, I could be really wrong and you could be 100% actually right. But the reason I view it as a good call, and actually one of the few times like the NFL should be praised for making a very difficult, correct call and not overturning it, which they very well could have. And that would have been the fucking wrong call to make. And again, this sucks for Bills fans. I feel so bad because like that only happens to Buffalo Bills fans, by the way. Some freak shit like that, they called it wrong in the other one. Actually, didn't they call it right in the other one too? No, but like I think in that Rams-Bears game, I have to look at it. I don't remember if they called it a pick or not, because if they didn't, it's the wrong call. Like the correct call is calling it an interception. You got to complete the catch through the ground. Like the ground, if like there's a person involved and you get the ball, like the ball falls out of your hands because you're getting tackled during the catch, that's still an incomplete pass. If they take the ball from you while you're getting tackled during a catch, that's an interception. Always has been. It sucks that it happened to the Bills. It really does. I don't hate Buffalo. It's really hard to hate them. It's just it sucks that they have absolutely no luck. Now, getting rid of McDermott, as painful as that is, very good move by Buffalo. I didn't think they had the balls to do it. I've been saying for 2 years that they're never going to win a Super Bowl with Sean. I really hope that isn't the Lions' fate, by the way, Kevin. I really hope that like someday Dan Campbell wins them a Super Bowl, because like there are times when those super culture changer guys like Sean McDermott or a Campbell type, you know what I mean? They can fix everything, but boy, do they never have it might take Dan a while to become a Super Bowl champion head coach. And I think the Lions will just let him sit there for a decade and become that guy. But the Bills got fucked up. They shit the bed. They shouldn't have did what they did. To be honest, if anything, they should have fired Brandon Beane and given Sean like 2 or 3 more years to get it. But let me explain to you something about the Buffalo Bills and the AFC East teams really fast. Whenever the Patriots were good, part of the reason why that division sucked is because every 2 or 3 years they would just blow up everything because the Patriots kept winning. But yeah, I have the Seahawks winning because I just don't trust the Rams in this game. However, it's really hard to trust Sam Darnold in any kind of big game like this. So would I be surprised if the Seahawks blew it? No, but I really hope that they beat the Rams. So that way, if my team also wins can win the AFC Championship somehow versus Denver, then we get the game where Sam Darnold shits his pants. And then everyone could be like, they only beat Sam Darnold. And I'll be like, I don't care. We're Super Bowl champions. Yeah, I'm gonna do the first game. If we lose that other game, I may be in too bad of a mood to do the second one. We'll see though. Nah, you guys will be back. You guys just need to figure it out. I actually think the Lions hired a good offensive coordinator, but we'll see. Top 7 in the NFL in red zone scoring offense. You know the Lions were like 30th in the NFL in red zone scoring the last couple years. I didn't even know that. Apparently, you guys suck ass at the red zone. Like, you're worse than my team is, Kevin. And apparently Drew is a red zone scoring specialist. That's like part of his like thing. And he is very close with Ben Johnson, kind of a very similar coach to Ben Johnson. I don't know. I don't think the Cardinals, their offense sucked, but it was more like they didn't have the pieces to be good. And if you look at Drew's offenses a couple years prior to this year, they always had like elite running performances out of James Conner. They were always putting up really good games with people like James Conner behind a terrible offensive line. Trey McBride is a constant top tight end. I don't know. I think it'll work out. He clearly knows how to get the ball to certain people. It's just kind of shitty he has, didn't have a quarterback. You have to think about the last 4 years instead of just last year for the Cardinals. I think he's been the OC for a pretty long time, for like 2 or 3 years now. And during his time, he's put up some pretty good seasons. You're good, Fernando. I'll only be live for another like 15 anyway. Hopefully it doesn't. Stay warm, my friend. Be warm. Stay cozy. I'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked for the games this weekend. Think we should be able to win. Damn, everybody's left. Damn it. And we have 7 likes. That's pretty good. Pretty excited though. I don't have a good grasp on how the game's going to go, but I do think we win it. Yeah, it should be pretty good. I'll be pretty sad if we don't win though. Enough to never mind. I don't even make that joke. Just hope we can pull her off. I mean, he's getting old. Just yeah. Very interested to see how everything plays. I mean, like the Patriots Broncos feels like a game that's very defensively oriented. And then the Rams Seahawks feels like a game that's going to have no offense at all. So naturally, the Patriots Broncos will be a shootout, and the Rams Seahawks will be a defensive classic. I doubt that, but that'd be pretty funny. Do you think there's a good shot we see Ben DiNucci come into the game? If Stidham's playing bad enough? Or nah, probably not. I think that's their backup now, is Ben DiNucci. God, dude, that sucks. Stidham gets hurt on the run onto the field. They have to play DiNucci, wins. I'd be like, you know what? I can't even be mad. Yeah, the Chiefs dynasty is over. Yeah, if when you're a dynasty, when you win your 3rd championship in 5 years, you remain a dynasty for every year that you like are still relevant. Missing the playoffs is an auto end. Yeah, no, it's like technical stuff, Kevin. It's not like an era or a vibe thing. It's just like now the Chiefs have to make a new dynasty. You're not just a forever dynasty. That's not how like sports work. You could argue the Patriots dynasty ended in 2008, the first one, when they missed the playoffs following the Giants' Super Bowl loss. When Brady went down with the injury, that's when I consider the end of our first dynasty run. And then we became a dynasty once again in 2018, and then probably 2020 is when it came to an end. I'm very technical about like the word dynasty. Again, the word dynasty is 3 and 5. You got to win 3 titles inside of 5 years. Once you hit the 5th year from your first title, it's like from every title. You know what I mean? So the Chiefs actually, if they hadn't won 2 years ago, they weren't going to be a dynasty based on their first Super. You know what I mean? They were like in danger of not being one. Um, it's again, it's a sliding scale. You have to win 3 and 5. And then like that first year or second year after you're no longer like winning Super Bowls, it's all over. But you have that whole 5-year run where you're considered a dynasty for that time period. It's more like when you call a team a dynasty, it's like a retroactive title in my opinion. Like you're looking back at the Patriots of like 2018 to 2015-14 and going, that's a dynasty. You're looking back at the Chiefs of 2018-19 to like this year and going, that's a dynasty. You know what I mean? Like that was a dynastic period for that team. I don't think it's something you can really ascribe in like after a team's first or second Super Bowl. They got to get that third one. You can start saying like, oh, they might be one. And I think that's like the accurate way to like, because again, some people say it's 2, but it's like, that's not a fucking dynasty. No, it's 3. Got to win 3 titles. And they usually got to be damn near consecutive or at least every other year. That's been the rule for forever. Yeah, I don't know why anyone would say it's 2. Some people argue it's 2, and it's like, I don't know about that. What is it, 2 in 7 years? They'll be like, dude, if a guy wins 2 titles at the beginning of his career, like they'll say like Brady's Buccaneers dynasty. It's like, it wasn't a dynasty. That was just a Super Bowl winning team. That was like a weird year the Buccaneers won a Super Bowl for some reason. Just like in like 2002. It's just like, yeah, and then the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. That's happened twice in NFL history, and it's very funny that it's happened twice. That still is one of the funnier Super Bowls, only because like Gruden got traded from the Raiders to the Bucks at the start of that year, and the Bucks had like this shockingly great all-time defense for that year. And when they wound up playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, well, that's super unfortunate. John Gruden knows the entire fucking team. And the Super Bowl looked like a game where the Buccaneers just knew everything the Raiders were about to do before they were going to do it. Because apparently, like, the new coaches didn't even change anything. It was the same plays and shit. They were just like, let's just steal everything Gruden did. And, yeah, take the team from him. And that's how the Bucks won their first Super Bowl. Is basically because the Raiders were fucking so out-schemed and outgunned because Gruden built the whole fucking team and then got shipped to Tampa. That was like the dumbest move in the world. Thought they won the Super Bowl the day before the Super Bowl and got drunk as fuck. Yeah, the guy missed the Super Bowl basically. The Raiders were supposed to blow him the fuck out. The Raiders were like, what were they, giant favorites in that game? I don't know. I also think it's bad news for the Broncos. There's weird disrespecting where you shouldn't do it with the Patriots. Every time a team disrespects the Patriots in the lead up to the Super Bowl, they end up losing in the AFC Championship. The Chargers back when they had LT and Phil Rivers as like young players did some like wild shit talking. I don't remember exactly what, but they were talking some crazy shit and we ended up beating them. The Steelers have the craziest one, I think, in NFL history. Which was before the game, apparently, like, according to several Patriots players, as they were walking in like out of a tunnel, they like saw a location that was full of a bunch of gear for like the Pittsburgh Steelers players. And all the gear was like their family and friends gear and stuff like that. It was like all their like suitcases and shit all packed and ready to go. And because they were so sure that they were going to win the Super Bowl or like win that game that year. that they like packed their bags ready to go to Miami for right after the game. Isn't that crazy? And the Patriots all saw that shit and they were like, what the fuck? Fun history, right? Probably going to get going here pretty quick. Did about an hour. Seems like the stream is quieted down to just me and Kevin. Which is fine. The stream did all right. Yeah, I'm not too wrong on the stuff I've been saying. Not too right. Not too wrong. All right, though. Yeah, it's dead now. Well, that should be the sign. I'm going to get going. Well, tomorrow we'll be watching some conference championships. So, see y'all then. Thank you for all listening. Yeah, I know, Kevin. I'll see y'all tomorrow for the conference championship. Should be a good ass time. Should be fun. And thank you all for tuning in. For those who did. Rest of y'all have a great night. If you ever watch this, who knows? As always, it's go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots. Especially because we're in the AFC Championship. Have a good night, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. Peace out. And